All right, let's get right into it. Today we're going to take one single GCSE maths question and figure out exactly how to get every last mark. And how are we going to do it? By cracking the code of the official examiner's mark scheme to see precisely what they're looking for. Let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? You've revised, you've done the practice problems, but when you're sitting in that exam hall, you can't help but wonder, am I actually showing them what they want to see? It's that little bit of doubt between your work and the marks you end up with.
Well, today, we're getting rid of all that doubt. This right here, this is our blueprint. It's the official mark scheme for question 10. Our entire mission is to decode this thing so you know, without a shadow of a doubt, how to bag every single one of those marks.
To pull this off, first we've got to learn the lingo. Mark schemes use a kind of shorthand, a specific code, to tell examiners what counts. So let's learn the two most important codes for this question. Here they are, M1 and A1. So, an M mark is for your method. This is a huge clue, you know? It tells us that showing your working is absolutely critical. The examiner has to see that you have a valid way of getting to the answer. Then you have the A mark, which is for accuracy, basically getting the right number. Now, here's the kicker. You can't get that A1 accuracy mark unless you've already earned the M1. Method first, then accuracy.
So how do we lock in that crucial M1 mark for question 10? Well, the good news is the mark scheme actually gives us two clear, equally good ways to do it. Let's take a look at the first path. Path number 1 is what I like to call the direct route, just the division method. It's totally straightforward and cuts right to the chase. Okay, now this is really important. What you're seeing here isn't just a summary. This is the exact wording from the mark scheme. It's literally the instruction to the examiner. If they see 46.75 divided by 0.85 written down on your paper, boom, you get the M1 mark. It's that specific.
And here's what that looks like in practice. This question is a classic reverse percentage problem. So the final price, $46.75, is 85% of the original price. To get back to 100%, you just have to divide by 0.85. And get this, just showing that calculation, just what you see in step 3, is enough for your method mark. Finishing the calculation, as you see in step 4, gets you the final answer.
Okay, on to path 2. What if you're not a fan of just diving into the division? What if you like to think things through with a bit of algebra? Well, the mark scheme has you covered there too. This is the equation method. And yep, you guessed it, this is another direct quote. The examiner is also on the lookout for this exact algebraic setup. If you can turn the problem into the sentence 0.85 times some original price, x, equals 46.75, you've also earned that M1 method mark. Simple as that.
And here's how that breaks down. You define your variable x, you write out the equation from the last slide, and then, wait a second, look at steps 3 and 4. You end up doing the exact same calculation as the division method. It's just a different way of thinking about the problem that gets you to the same process. Both are 100% correct.
Now you might have spotted those two little letters OE at the end of the quotes. They're actually super important. It just stands for or equivalent. And what it means is that you have some flexibility. You don't have to use decimals. You could write it as a division with a fraction, or even multiply everything to get rid of the decimals completely. As long as your method is mathematically the same, the mark is yours.
So you've shown a valid method. You've got your M1 in the bag. Great. But we're going for full marks here, right? So now we have to make sure we nail the accuracy to get that final A1 mark.
Right. After you do your calculation from either path, the number you need to land on is 55. But is that the only way you're allowed to write it? Let's check out the additional guidance part of the mark scheme. This is like the extra notes for the examiners, and it clearly states they will accept trailing zeros. So what does that mean for you? Well, because the question involves money, it means that writing your answer as 55 or 55.0 or even 55.00 are all perfectly acceptable. Any of those on the answer line will get you that final A1 accuracy mark, as long as you showed a correct method first, of course. Okay, we have decoded the language, we've explored the different paths, and we've checked the fine print. Let's wrap all this up with the key rules for getting full marks on this specific question.
Here it is, your checklist for success. Rule number 1. The big one, you must show a complete method. That can be the direct division, or it can be by setting up the equation. Remember, you've got flexibility with or equivalent numbers. Nail the method, then get the final answer of 55. And those marks are yours.
And that's really all there is to it. That's how you use the mark scheme to pretty much guarantee you get the marks you deserve. So the last thing I want to ask you is, looking at those two paths we talked about, the direct division versus the algebraic setup, which one just clicks better for you? Knowing your own style is half the battle. Thanks for joining me.